this movie called Knives Out, and it's fantastic. I've never really gotten into the whodunit mystery genre before, but after seeing this movie, it's opened me up to a whole new genre. It's obvious that so much effort and care was put into this movie. It's a very clever story, and it's set up to be a classic whodunit. And then it kind of bamboozles you. Actually, it kind of double bamboozles you. Like it makes the audience think that they know what's going on, and then pulls the carpet from pulls the rug out from under them. Is that the saying? It pulls the carpet from under them. It been it tricks them. So it's about this old man who wrote mystery novels being murdered, and everyone in the house is a suspect. A classic whodunit stuff, you know. Benoit Blanc and my boy Lakeith Stanfield are interviewing everyone in the family, and it's pretty obvious right away that they are not reliable. You got the lady from Christmas with the Cranks. You got this old fart. You got this guy. It's a story that really has a lot of attention to detail, so that when you rewatch it after you know what happens, you can go, wow, this thing that they said makes more sense now that I know what happens. When you rewatch it, you notice all these subtle things that make you appreciate the movie so much more. I'm not going to explain the whole plot or anything, but I'm going to say some things that I really liked about this movie that will spoil it, so skip to this time if you haven't seen this movie yet. One big thing I really love is how this movie does a really good job of surprising you in a way that isn't really stupid. This film is set up like a classic mystery movie like Clue, but then becomes what Rian Johnson, the director, describes as a Hitchcocking kind of film, which I don't really know what that means, but it sounds kind of epic. Almost right at the beginning, the audience is told exactly how Harlan Thrombey dies when Marta, the main protagonist, accidentally gives him too much of the wrong drug.
Oh my god.
A very elaborate ruse is set up by Harlan, and the rest of the movie you're just rooting for Marta to get away with it, which sounds weird, but it makes sense when you watch it. The very beginning, you think you know what's happening, but it's only through Marta's perspective, and then it's later revealed at the very end that it's not the full story, which I find pretty interesting. But Marta is a protagonist that is genuinely a really good person, and when she ultimately comes out on top, it feels so rewarding. At the very end of the movie comes the big twist that what you thought happened is only one side of the story, and that Chris Evans actually switched the drugs on purpose. In the whole movie, when he was helping Marta, he was actually trying to make sure that he came out on top. The whole movie building up to that climax amazes me every time. And the tension of Chris Evans being figured out and then trying to murder Marta.
In for a penny.
Only for the knife to turn out to be fake just makes the ending so perfect. When it turned out that all the inheritance went to Marta, the family's true colors really showed.
You little bitch.
How they're all just such greedy and manipulative people. They never really cared about Marta, and seeing Marta looking down on them as they all leave is awesome. I love how it's very clear that they don't really care about Marta. They all completely say different countries of where they think she's from. It's clear that they don't really care about her, and the whole movie, everything they do is just for their own personal gain. Also, one side plot that I found super interesting was the old fart having an affair. Harlan was going to tell Christmas with the Cranks lady before he died, but after his death, when Fart reads the letter, it's supposedly blank, so he throws a baseball out the window for some reason. Then Benoit picks up the ball, he throws it to the dog, and then at the end, the dog brings the ball to Crank Lady, who returns it to Harlan's office and finds the blank letter. At the beginning, she says how her and her father had their own games, their own way of communicating, and she lights a fire under the letter, revealing that Fart's having an affair. I just find it so funny that if he just hadn't thrown the ball out the window, she would have probably never found out about it. That's just one example of a small thing that makes this movie so much enjoyable to me. Also, Lakeith Stanfield. Alright, spoiler talk over. Overall, this movie is a very satisfying whodunit that for me personally only gets better with multiple rewatches. I think Rian Johnson really made a movie that will be remembered for years to come. It'll always be a classic to me. One thing I really appreciate is the music of Knives Out as well, which I personally find really great. The cinematography also stands out, which is something I always look for in movies, good cinematography. Scenes like this where the camera abruptly becomes handheld to show how manic everyone is stand out.
Darling, we I don't know what's happening. I don't know why he... You guys, I'm also confused. I need to think.
That's a really great scene to me. Also, the acting, all the actors are really talented, and having such a big cast of famous people all working together is something very special. Now I'm going to do my first number rating for a movie, and number ratings always become a bit confusing and opinions can change over time. But just for now, I want to give Knives Out an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really fantastic movie that I highly recommend. I even love it enough to get it on Blu-ray, so you know it's good if it's in my movie collection among such classics as Captain Underpants and classic 1899 show Quantum Leap starring Scott Bakula.
You're gonna dance, gonna fly, I'll take a chance, riding high. Before my number's up, I'm gonna fill my cup, I'm gonna live, live, live.